What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to Double Coverage. We hope you're still living, loving, and breathing sport. I'm Dom with the Great Man Sauce. What's happening, bro?
What's happening, brother? Not a hell of a lot. Another week, another big week in sports. NBA's obviously popping off. We got the cup games are happening, which is maybe something that we talked a bit of shit on when it first came about. But boy, oh boy,
No, we like the cup.
it's we've warmed up to it. I feel like
There's a team.
it does create the interest that we want in the early parts of the season, right, Doma? So
No, I agree. And there's a certain team in the cup source that we will talk about. We'll start with the NBA. Let's get straight into it. But there's a certain team in the cup that progressed very nicely. They did lose today to Atlanta, but the Milwaukee Bucks, you messaged me yesterday, have just started to get the gears turning at that basketball club.
yeah, so I messaged you. They've won 9 of the last 10. When we said early days, Doc Rivers could be backing up the Brinks truck to run over a couple people with his reverse lights on, because we know he likes to throw everyone freaking under the bus. But they've turned it around and they're playing some good basketball. And we always said that if the Bucks can figure things out, they definitely have a team there that could contest in that East. Obviously, Boston, the team to knock off. And you have to say the Cavs, with the way that they've started the season, they look like a team to beat. But yeah, the Bucks can do something. But the other team in that East, and I mentioned to you before the start of the show, Dom, is Atlanta Hawks. I mean, they're playing great defense. They've proven that they can beat the best teams. They beat the Celtics. They've beat the Cavs. They beat the Bucks today. So, can the Hawks turn the corner? Is Trae Young learning to not be a shot chucker and facilitate the way he is and spread things around? I mean, Jalen Johnson's turning into quite the player, if you ask me. He's he can do it all. He defends, he rebounds, he can put up points, he can knock down the three. So yeah, very versatile player. So yeah, I think the Hawks also have a sneaky chance to maybe do something. So, I would say at this point in the season, there's probably 4 teams in that East. Obviously, Boston's still the team to beat, and then the Cavs second behind that. But the Bucks are turning the corner, and the Hawks, watch out for them. Their defense has really ramped up this season, and we love a good defense, Doma.
The top 6
going into the finals.
I'm not going to put Miami. I'm not going to put Miami in that group yet, because they've struggled a bit this season.
Yeah,
they're 10-10. So
the thing is with Miami, like they've got a very similar team that's led them to successful seasons in the past. So they've still got the opportunity to turn it around. There's a lot of games, and Eric Spoelstra is a great coach. So
they just need to be there at the end, and anything can happen. But
exactly,
the top 6 in the East at the moment: Cavs, Celtics, Magic have been playing great basketball, so I'm not going to knock them at all. So Cavs, Celtics, Magic, Knicks, Bucks are up into 5th. Atlanta 6th, Miami 7th. Now that's a good 7 teams in the East. The rest of the teams are trash, if you ask me.
Yeah, Magic's been doing pretty well without Banchero. Obviously, he's been out, and Franz Wagner's been carrying the load. They do use quite a deep bench there in Orlando as well. So, yeah, look,
they do have 3. They do have 3 of the 4 best records in the league in the East.
Yeah. So, I think there's some teams in the East that are starting to warm into the season and maybe putting their hand up to potentially be contenders to take out the Eastern Conference Championship. But yeah, look, until someone knocks off Boston, we'll wait and see.
Chris said on IG, Knicks beat the Hawks. Sorry, boys. So they've beaten 3 of the top 5 that I can recall. Like, I don't know if they beat Orlando.
There's only one reason that I can't take the Knicks. Like I can't take it seriously that preseason the bookies second
trying
to
good
win the
affirmation.
Eastern
Now you're
Conference,
just going to shut him down. You're going
right?
to just make it.
No, well, I can't understand where that's come from just because the pieces they've added. I mean, you know,
They got Carl Anthony Choke. Like on their team now.
Carl Anthony, he's the 82 game master, mate. When it gets to playoffs, he's hot and cold when he gets to playoffs.
Yeah.
He's proven it in the past. So, yeah, look, let's see. Yes, maybe the Knicks as well, but they need to start playing better defense because their defense, they're giving up far too many points. Yeah, their defense is lacking. So there's probably that aspect why I'm not sold yet on the Knicks.
No, that's fair. That's fair. I can quickly just jump in the chat because there's a fair few people saying hello. So Vinny, hello. Global, Frank.
How are we, lads?
We are well. Magda already wants to know where's Julio. His first
he's finding the next bird for you to look up, Magda.
His first comment was at 8:24 p.m. and it took him 1 minute to ask where Julio was because I've got the timestamp on my end. Bob Boozle, the NBA season will be successful if JJ Redick gets fired and cries during a press conference. Hey, that's why we'll talk about the Father Time, the GM, the best mates, the podcaster. Mate, the best is he had the podcast with JJ Redick, gets his mate a job, and his team's still shit. Like, last week they were second in the West, the Lakers, and they've lost. I made a note. I think it's 6 of the last 8 games.
How things can switch so soon. I mean, just took Reeves going out of the rotation and then having to rely more on our bench guys and having to play into that depth. And, if LeBron or AD aren't on any given night, I'm telling you, Dom, we just don't win games. We need both those guys to be clicking to win games, especially against the better teams. So, yeah, look, I'm not hopeful for Lakers season. I can't really see us going anywhere. I'll be honest with you.
You said that from the start. Is Father Time catching LeBron, or do you reckon it's just he made a comment? He said it's a rhythm thing. He's just been a bit off.
Yeah, I mean, he was good today. He played well. He was one of the only players that actually played well against Miami.
We beat you by 41.
Yeah, getting slapped.
See, JJ Redick made a comment. He said he had to address it quickly before anything broke down in the locker room. That should be code for I'm trading LeBron because he's the problem.
Look, it doesn't really matter. Lakers fans, anyone who's a Lakers fan, if you listen to this, it does not matter what they do, what trades they make. Lakers will not win the title. I'm telling you right now. It doesn't matter what they do. It does not matter what they do at this point.
The only way you would win is if you had 2018 LeBron. You just carry the team.
Yeah,
you would. That's the only way you win because you've seen him. Honestly, that's been LeBron's MO. He's got one guy and he just have a bunch of role players, and then in his prime, he just dominate. Except for Miami, he didn't have to do as much. But when he did then take over the team, they won. So that's been LeBron.
Yeah, look,
the problem is you can't do it at 40.
I just, it's just. There's always this narrative around LeBron and media and people that hate him want to see him fail, but he hasn't failed, man. Like he's lived up to the expectation and passed the expectation that was put on him, the chosen one, what they called him, on the front of Sports Illustrated when he came out of high school, right?
Still won 4 chips. He made 10 finals.
He's lived up to that, right? So I don't think he doesn't have anything to prove, and he's not going to win another title. I just can't. The only way he wins another title is if he literally finishes at the Lakers and then signs for a vet minimum with an absolute stacked lineup that has everyone, and he just comes off the bench, plays 20 minutes a night, and then come playoffs, he still plays he can play 25 minutes, and then they put him in the last 5 minutes in the fourth quarter. crunch time, and that's how he wins another chip. He's not going to win another chip being the first or second guy on the team. I just don't see it happen if he wins another chip at all, right? His last chip he was going to win was the NBA Cup, which he won last season.
Last year, exactly right. Yeah. Bob says on this episode of LeBron JJ podcast, we talk about blaming the front office, and he said LeBron must sacrifice Bronny for a championship. Adam said that LeBron hadn't been taking his Metamucil, so he wasn't his regular, and now he's back on it. Yeah, anyway, you were pathetic today. The defense was horrific. You just know what to be saying. Let's just quickly run through the standings in the West. If you have any comments to make, let them fly. Oklahoma first seed, Houston second, Ja Morant third, who has come out and said that he's the dunking era of Ja Morant is over. He said. So I don't know what that's supposed to mean, but anyway.
No, well, I think Doma, and we've spoken about this previously on the show. It's like it's all great; he can provide the amazing highlights, but with those extravagant, leaps and jumps that he goes for and tries to put those posters. I mean, they look great, right? Think about the Kevin Love missed poster that's on a card now, right? The Chronicles set.
Yeah.
More chance to get injured, as you mentioned.
It's true.
So I think he's wisened up and realized that for the longevity of his career, he needs to be weary when he's going up, at certain moments, and not just, yes, he's got that amazing leap and he can just launch over the top of guys and posterize dudes. But, I think with his body type and, he's a bit of a smaller stature, he needs to be a bit more crafty. And I think, if anything, he's got the ability to move throughout the air. I mean, he should be modeling part of his game off Kyrie Irving in the way he finishes around the rim and uses the spin on the ball. So I think that's what he probably means, Doma, and it's a smart choice. And if you're one of his collectors, you should be happy with that because hopefully that leads to less injuries.
Adam said the live stream era of Ja Morant should be over more likely.
Glock Morant.
Bob says LeBron's going to pull a Shaq and go to the Celtics. Yeah, he probably would. Shia not getting enough love, MVP love. It's the same thing as last year. Same old shit. He's just one of those get a bucket guys. Not flashy.
I would like to see him win an MVP, but I think
I'd love it for him. I'd love it for him because he's gone over. Like traded from the Clippers, and I remember when I'm pretty sure we were doing the podcast. It was the first year we did the pod, and he got traded, and you actually said on the podcast they're going to regret getting rid of that guy. Like they'll regret it. And
I regret it.
Man, look where they are now, the Clippers. I know they're seventh in the West, but just imagine they had him and they're not relying. I'm telling you, if they had Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and they had James Harden right now, they would have traded Kawhi Leonard. He's just filling up a spot. They could have given another guy money to come play, and they would be absolutely dominating.
Yeah.
Then we got Dallas in.
They missed one.
Yeah.
The
we
Clippers.
Got Dallas in. Even what's his name? What's his man? Is he still at Clippers?
Terrence Mann?
Yeah.
I think he's still there. Yeah, I think he's still there.
Man, you don't hear much about him. He was playing really well at one stage, and I don't know if he's regressed a bit. I don't know. Fourth seed in the West, Dallas. Then we got Golden State, Phoenix, Clippers, Denver have been mediocre, but they're still there in 8th seed. Lakers are in 9th. Minnesota up into 10th now. After that, Anthony Edwards berating his team last week. They've moved up into the play-in 10th position. Then we got San Antonio and Sacramento right there on their tails, and then Portland, Utah, and New Orleans. I don't know if you saw Brandon Ingram said, we need to start having a winning mentality. Well, I'm just going to point it out nice and clear for Brandon Ingram. You are not winning any games.
It's pretty hard to
play with Zion.
Well, that's what
he's out again.
It's pretty hard. to win when your best player keeps getting injured year after year after year.
Yeah.
It was always going to be the issue with Zion, and here we are again. And they've just proven that without Zion Williamson in the lineup, they're not a very good team. They are so much better when he's in the lineup. He makes such a difference. You know, they have McCollum there. They got DeJounte Murray. They got Ingram. They've played a few games together. They're still losing, right? So what's the missing piece? Obviously, Zion Williamson.
Edwards should come to Miami, Bob.
And maybe they regret getting rid of Dyson Daniels because he's gone to the Hawks and he's, taken another leap. He's taken that next step in his career and elevated his game, scoring more points, more steals. I'm not sure if you've seen the stat. There's like this, it's like a graph, and it's got like steals and deflections, and then it's got like every player as a dot, right? And on the graph, Dyson Daniels is all the way in the top right corner, and the next closest player to him is like near halfway. So he's like all the way out here in steals and deflections in the league.
He's miles
ahead of anyone. Like ridiculously ahead of anyone. So his defensive ability has taken leaps and bounds this season.
Hope he keeps it up because, sometimes while they're trying to build facets of their game, players, sometimes then they choose to get rid of a component to become a scorer. He's not that type of guy. He should be one of those 3-and-D type players where he can score in the paint if he has to, but he should not be like a number 1 scoring option guy or a number 2 scoring option guy in the team. He's the type of guy you want him out there because of his defense can get himself open. All he has to be able to do is hit the shot when it comes to him, but then win you extra possessions through his defense and his steals and his deflections. That's what his role should be. You got a player like that in your team, you can win chips if you have everyone else playing their part as well. Like, just imagine a guy like that was in Oklahoma's team. Imagine giving SGA and Chet when Chet comes back, but imagine having a guy like Daniels getting them more possessions a game through his deflections and steals. Or Luka the Don and Kyrie. Imagine he's getting them more shots through his defense. That's how you become value. So I hope he
if he keeps doing what he's doing, I think he will always have a job in the NBA. I think there will always be a team that wants to get him because he's so good defensively. I think I've seen a stat, guarding other elite guards, when he's come up against Donovan Mitchell, I think against Curry.
Brunson.
He's got a very, very, very good record this season against other elite guards of the position that he plays. So, his defense has been phenomenal. So that's what I'm saying. The Hawks, we love defense on this show, Doma, because defense wins you championships. Because when the push comes to shove in the playoffs and the refs put the whistle away, which whether you want to admit it or not, it happens, right? We've watched enough basketball
every year since I started watching proper.
They put the whistle away, and you get away with a bit more in the playoffs, a bit more physicality. That's where those players like Dyson Daniels shine, So, that's why we like the Hawks, or that's why I like the Hawks sneakily. I'm not saying, they're not better than Boston, they're not better than Cavs. Probably,
ladies and gentlemen, he's not saying that they're winning the chip. He's saying that he likes them to be a bit of a problem for teams in the playoffs, as they can keep it up.
Exactly. If you come up against the Hawks, it's going to be a tough matchup.
So we'd like to see
Trae Young breaks the record for the most mock trades in NBA. He's in a mock trade every season, isn't he not?
Yeah, he's and then they end up
they keep him and get some other pieces around him. But he's playing well this season. He's not overshooting the ball, facilitating well, and there's a good balance on the team. But anyway, enough on the Hawks, enough on basketball, Tom.
Enough on basketball. Yeah, we're moving on. I was about to move on. Let's get to the EPL because we had some results this morning, which was interesting because I didn't even know the games were on because obviously the podcast is today on a Thursday. But you messaged me last night, and luckily you did. And the game times were unbelievable. So we actually have to go through a few games because obviously we didn't do the pod on Tuesday. So we had Southampton, Brighton 1-1, Bournemouth beat Wolves 4-2, Nottingham over Ipswich 1-0, Palace, Newcastle 1-1, Brentford, Leicester 4-1 to Brentford. Arsenal smashed West Ham 5-2. Tottenham and Fulham draw. Man United smacked Everton 4-0. Chelsea beat Villa 3-0. And Liverpool beat Man City 2-0. Now, I just want to touch on the Man United thing, all right? Because I would have said this prior leading into the Arsenal game, all right, if we had recorded. So I don't want anyone to think, if you watch this show, you know my mentality, my thought process on Man United. That winning game, 4-0, Rashford scored twice, Xerxes scored twice, but I'm more looking at Rashford and I'm more looking at Bruno Fernandes and I'm more looking at the fact that the biggest downhill skier, flat track bullies I've ever seen. Everton is shit. So for us to rightly so, we smacked them. But the first 10 minutes were a bit shaky and then we just dominated. Diallo was just ripping them to shreds. So my mentality, if we were going to be on here before this Arsenal game, I would have said, don't get ahead of yourself, United supporters. We've got to go to Emirates Stadium. We've got to play Arsenal. And don't get your hopes up to think that we're going to walk away with a win. You might somehow get a result, but don't think you're going to walk away with points. Lo and behold, we get done 2-0. We'll start with our game this morning. You guys played very well. And I tell you, the one thing that Man United as a football club, we struggle defensively, but the one thing we struggle massively to defend in the English Premier League is corners. And we gave Arsenal 15 corners, of which they scored 2 goals when they probably should have scored 7 off corners.
We could have had another 2 goals from corners. We missed 2 very good chances, other chances from corners.
So you have Ben White and Gabriel playing today. Well, especially Gabriel, because he's like that's where he set up a lot of these set pieces. It would have been Thomas Partey headed the ball into his shoulder and like
he missed from 3 yards out.
Bro, it was just by fluke chance when he headed it, hit his shoulder and it went out instead of into the goals. Bro, every time there was a corner, I'm sitting there going, fuck, here's another one. We're going to cop another one. Funnily enough, the 2 goals we scored were, well, the second one was a really good goal by Arsenal, but the first one was Hoyland headed it backwards and Saliba just headed it in. And then the one when Xerxes almost scored the own goal and Ugarte saved it with the header on the line. And I'm thinking,
yeah, I know, you nearly scored. I know. On the front post, you came across, you got the header, and you nearly headed it straight into your own goal. It would have been a great finish. Look, I can only say that you got dominated, Dom. Like, you never really looked in maybe the first 20 minutes of the game, but I think more that was more like, you know, making sure you didn't concede early. And I wouldn't even say the first half you really had that much of a go at scoring. But in the second half, we came out and put the pressure on and you know, got the rewards in the end.
I know we didn't start our number one team. The number one team, we got to play in 3 days' time. It is like we didn't start with Rashford on, is what I'm trying to say. Pretty much Rashford and like Lisandro Martinez didn't play. Like we had to play Harry Maguire. But besides the point, no, I want to say something to you. Because I harp on about it every week. I know you don't watch United games like flat stick like I do, but please, like, no offense to Rasmus Højlund, I actually like the kid, but has my assessment of him been 150,000% correct or not? Please just tell me how right I've been about that guy.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't see it in his movement. Like, he doesn't look like it doesn't look like he understands how to run off the shoulder of the defender. He barely, like, he's got a bit of pace to him, but he barely tries to run in behind. You know, at least try to get the defenders turning the other way. He doesn't, he never really looks dangerous. You know,
but even like now, Garnacho's struggling a little bit. Fucking how good's Diallo playing at the moment? Like, he came on and actually looked good.
Yeah,
but
Diallo looks good.
How you can't have?
Where's Mino? Where's Kobe Mino? Is he injured?
It's probably because he came back from injury. They were resting him.
Okay.
Like he'll play against Nottingham. But fuck, you know what I mean. You put on guys like Trossard today, yeah. Like Trossard comes on, and Marino. Like Marino probably should have scored, to be honest. But you put on Trossard and you put on Marino. these two guys, and they come on, and I'm watching as an opposing fan going, fuck, look at the impact these guys are having for this team. And then
Compare that with Rashford when he came on.
Rashford come on. I know I keep
headers it
harping
out
on
for a
about,
corner and gives us a goal.
but do you understand what I'm saying? Like, if nothing goes right for him, he like, I hope he dominates this season. He's been playing really well the last few games. I hope he dominates because he needs to get his stock up again because it's gone down, and we have to sell him. We got to sell him. I hope he dominates. Then send him to the Farmers League and he'll get picked for England because you'll score fucking 30 goals a season playing in the French League. Who cares? It's irrelevant. Like, you're good. You're good. Chelsea's good. F you and Manny. You piss me off.
Yeah, you're buying 2 jerseys.
Bloody, the way it's going, you're going to be in the top 3, the two of you, the way you're playing.
I think Chelsea's second, I believe.
They are second.
On the table, yeah.
Yeah, and you're third. And we're 9th. So we've got a bit of work to do.
Liverpool lost points this morning, so now we're only 7 behind Liverpool. So still, title race is still open.
Bob Boozle says, Dom, just look in the mirror and say, I was right. I am always right. No. I can't do that. That's egotistical. It's only that, Bob. It says, I look in the mirror and I say, I was right. I am always right when it comes to Manchester United. That's what the quote has to say. I'm not right about everything. I'm wrong about a fair bit on this show. But I admit it. But I'm right on that.
We're always the first to cop our fair whack when we.
We cop it. Where's the Messiah? We need the Messiah. Yeah, we got to tee that up. It's coming. Let's get to the rest of the games. Ipswich lost to Crystal Palace 1-0. Leicester beat West Ham 3-1. Chelsea smacked Southampton 5-1. Man City beat Nottingham 3-0. They finally break their losing streak. Everton beat the Wolves 4-0. Villa 3-1 over Brentford. And what they're calling game of the season at the moment, Newcastle and Liverpool 3-3 draw. If you're a Liverpool fan, you're calling it game of the season because you choked. No opposing fan, if I'm watching that game, I'm not calling that game, oh, what a game, that's the best. I'm saying we choked because you scored in the 83rd minute and you let him score in the 96th minute. So you choked. So as simple as that.
Yep. Well, gave up 2 points and good for us. And obviously Chelsea who were chasing. Yeah. And City back on the winners list. I see they won 3-0. Against Nottingham. So, yes, Magda, big win. Expected win. I expected to win, especially against that Manchester United. When I seen the side, I'm not going to lie, Don. I seen Harry Maguire in the back line. I said, "Oh fuck, we are not losing today." That's literally what I said to myself. You know, I don't know if that's. I don't know. It's just funny because you just have that feeling sometimes.
Yeah, it'll be gone at the end of the year as well. Another guy. Yeah,
look, as I said, and we know this, you know, we need Amarin's obviously playing the guys he's got. He's got to clear out. There's a few more he's got to get out of there and clear them out and then, make his twist on the team and hopefully he can, lead you guys to a more successful period of the club.
It'd be nice. It'd be very nice. Games coming up. We have Fulham Brighton tomorrow morning at 6:30 and Bournemouth Tottenham at 7:15. So a bit of Premier League in the morning to watch. Then we have Saturday night. We have Everton Liverpool, the Merseyside derby. That's at 11:30, the early game. Then we have on Sunday morning Villa Southampton, Brentford Newcastle, Palace City at 2 a.m. Then we have United versus Nottingham at 4:30, and then Monday morning we have Fulham Arsenal at 1 a.m., Ipswich Bournemouth, Leicester Brighton, Tottenham versus Chelsea at 3:30 a.m. Monday, and on Tuesday at 7 a.m. we have West Ham Wolves. So I tell you what, we do like some of these 7 a.m. games. They're very nice. Just align beautifully with Champions League type fixtures. You don't have to get up at that 3:30, 2 o'clock or stay up scenario. Vinny says there is more chem in Kurt's product than chemistry at Man United.
Yeah, there is, Vinny. We
are going to talk about it. I kind of hope some car cleaner forgets to wash his hands, irritates his eyes, and sues Kurt Dirt's car care. I love Bob Boozle in the chat. It's elite. Let's get to. Oh, what have I done?
What's next on the agenda, Doma?
It's meant to be F1, but
Final race of the season. We'll go UFC and then we'll go F1. So
Yeah.
UFC, Doma, 310 this weekend. Pantoja versus Asakura. I'll just bring it up because I like to do the old screen share and bring up the graphic. Here it is. Pantoja versus Asakura this weekend. Starts from 2 p.m. the main card. So it will be an absolute belter. That's the flyweight title bout. And then you got Shavkat Rakhmonov against Ian Machado. Gary, the big outsider. I reckon Shavkat will submit him and finish him. Submit him or finish him. I can't see it going the distance. It'll be interesting to see the approach Gary has. Obviously, in his last fight, said he was going to bang with who he fought last. I forgot who it was. But then he got to the fight and didn't bang and just took him to the ground and grappled him. You can't do that with this guy because Shavkat's, a far superior grappler. So it'll be interesting to see his game plan. Then you got Cyril Gane against Alexander Volkov. Then you got Bryce Mitchell against Kron Gracie. Then Nate Lauda, I don't know, Duha Choi against Duhai Choi from South Korea. And the prelims, you got Dominic Reyes against Anthony Smith. That's a cracker. Vicente Luque against Thembo Gorimbo.
Yeah,
Thembo Gorimbo, our boy. He's back in. So make sure you tune in for that
Is
one.
any of his cards out, Source?
I actually don't know. I'll have a look.
We've got to look it up.
I'll have a look because I'm going to have to get a rookie card. Then you got Movsar Evloev against Aljamain Sterling. That's a cracking fight in the featherweight. If you don't mind. And then Randy Brown against Brian Battle. And then the early prelims, Chris Weidman against Eric Anders. I'm telling you, this card is absolutely stacked, ladies and gentlemen. Cody Durden against Joshua Vaughn. Michael Chiesa against Max Griffin. Clay Guida against Chase Hooper. And Kennedy Nchukunku against Lucas Bryski from Poland. That's the whole card. And I had to read them all because there's a lot of good fights, even on the early prelims. So the prelims kick off from 12 p.m. Early prelims kick off from 10 a.m. This Sunday, Australian Eastern Daylight Time. Check your local guides. It should be an absolute cracker. For the main card, I'm going to go with Pantoja. I just can't back against him. He's so good in this featherweight, this flyweight division. Just can't go against him. Then I'm going to go Shavkat. He's going to get the submission over Gary. I'm going to go Cyril Gane over Volkov. I think he'll be too nimble and nimble on his feet for Volkov, and he'll probably just piece him apart. But watch out for Volkov's power because if he does connect, Gane could be lights out. And then I'm going to back Bryce Mitchell. I mean, you can't really go against the minus 800 favorite, Doma, which, if you don't understand how American odds works, that essentially means that for you to win $100 profit, you need to put $800 on to win $100 profit. So $800 would get you back $900. That's just crazy short odds, if you ask me. So I can't really go against that. And then Nate Luenda against Do Ho Choi. I couldn't tell you. It's a flip of the coin. But this is a cracking fight. Dominic Reyes against Anthony Smith. I'd go with Reyes. And then I'm going to go with Themba Gorimbo in that one against Vicente Luque. Of course, I want Gorimbo to win. He's been on a winning streak, and we want to see him succeed even more in this sport. So that is UFC 310 this weekend, Pantoja versus Asakura. Make sure you tune in, order the pay-per-view, find it on the wide world of World Wide Web somewhere. If you're not sure, DM us. We can help you out. All right.
Very nice. All right, F1 quickly. The race was this morning, on Monday morning, sorry. Verstappen wins. Leclerc second. Piastri finished third. Russell fourth. Gasly fifth. Sainz sixth. Alonso in seventh. Zhou Guan Yu finished in the top 10. So did Magnussen in ninth. And Lando finished 10th. Obviously, that's wrapped up. Hamilton finished 12th. Liam Lawson in 14th. Perez DNF'd, and I reckon he could get axed. And there'll be a seat there for someone to take up. I reckon he's going to get fired. That's the rumors.
Well, obviously, with more teams coming in, there's rumors that Danny Rick could get one of the.
Yeah, he's going to drive for GM. I think that was confirmed though.
Okay, so there you go.
I think that's actually going to happen.
Back on the grid, Danny Rick. Good to have him back. Happen. How
I think that
crazy is it going to be having what? How many cars they're going to have? Imagine that
22.
on a turn one. Ho, there's going to be some good crashes next season. That's for sure.
Yeah, Lance Stroll's licking his lips. He's like ready to take out everyone.
If Mazepin's still there, then definitely.
Nah, he won't be coming back. He's Russian, mate. He's got no hope of coming back.
Caused him.
Yeah, he's done. Race this next Monday, Abu Dhabi, last race of the season, a Yas Marina circuit, 12 a.m., so midnight Monday morning. So tune in for that one. As we know, it's all wrapped up and done for the year. NFL results, Broncos over Browns, Bills beat the 49ers in the snow, Eagles over Ravens, Buccaneers over Panthers, Rams over Saints, Chargers over Falcons, Pittsburgh beat Bengals, Texans over Jags, Vikings over Cardinals, Indianapolis over Patriots, Seahawks over Jets, Commanders over Titans, Chiefs over Raiders, no surprise, Packers over Dolphins, Dallas over Giants, no surprise there, Detroit over Chicago, and the games coming up for week 14, Lions, Packers, Dolphins, Jets, Vikings, Falcons, Giants, Saints, Eagles, Panthers, Steelers, Browns, Bucks, Raiders, Titans, Jags, Cardinals, Seahawks, Rams, Bills, 49ers, Bears, Chiefs, Chargers, and Cowboys, Cincinnati. Now, Sauce, well, that's it for the NFL. Let's jump into Hobby Talk because bit of breaking news for Hobby Talk. Announced probably 7 minutes ago now. The Hobby Hangout XL officially announced.
There we go.
After we probably leaked it 2 months ago, like morons, but oh well, shit happens. We didn't get into trouble, so
Inside word.
here it is. We've got a date. I'll bring it up.
Don't worry, plenty of people on Wall Street leak inside information that leads to a lot worse things than that. But no one gets just a little slap on the wrist. Who cares?
Here we go. It is going to be the biggest show to date, taking place yearly in a different city. Okay. The first XL will take place in Melbourne at our new home to be announced soon, which is pretty obvious. It is the Exhibition Centre, Carlton, right there. That's where it's actually going to be. The show will be 5 times our current show in floor space. I was actually there on Saturday that passed, and I've got some
How's
feedback.
the venue, Doma?
It's massive. It's massive.
Like too big or
like ginormous?
Okay. Well, I mean, if it's advertised well,
it says here that
the right amount of tables there.
It says here it's a good area to put like a stage. Australian and international guests. I want to know who these international guests are. That'll be interesting.
I'll tell you what, if it's it better not be old mate Hello himself, because that would be probably one of the funniest things if he was there and we done a roaming source and got him on there. He'd never live it down, would he? We'd give him absolutely that much shit. He'd never come back to Australia.
So international guests, we've got speakers, sports cards.
Talking about Lemon Wilson, if you haven't followed there.
150 plus stalls. I think you're going to need that. The interesting thing is this is actually going to be held exactly a month before Collect Fest, which is at the same venue. Which obviously that's going to fill the space up massively because it's all types of stuff in pop culture. Entertainment cards, activations, free play areas.
Yes, Collect Fest is 5th and 6th of July.
Yeah.
So this is 1 month before.
This is massive, though. This is huge. We need the turnout to be massive, like the
the Collect Fest is at the Melbourne Exhibition Centre, though.
Oh, Melbourne Exhibition Centre. Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah. So is this space bigger than one of the rooms at Jeff Shed, Melbourne Exhibition, or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that big. Wow. Because
It's probably
obviously
about.
we went in
Probably
there
about.
for Trarcon last year and seeing that it was which is no longer running, ladies and gentlemen. You know, we
Probably.
went to the formerly Trarcon.
It's probably 3 of those rooms.
Oh wow. Okay.
And it's got a
Jeez, it
whole,
is going to be huge.
and then it's got an upstairs, which is the same schematic layout of the bottom.
Right. Okay. Interesting. Well, good to see that they've gone big. You know what I mean? And look, good luck to Andrew and the crew.
Yeah.
There at Hobby Hangout, and I'm not exactly sure the exact company he works for, but that organized the events. You know, we hope that it's a success, and we'll always plug these things on our show and make you guys aware. So lock it in, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, it's the 1st of June. That's a big show. And then as Doma mentioned, if you're really keen as mustard, there's a show a month later, and that's called Collect Fest.
We might have to take more predictions on who we think the international guests are.
It'll be interesting. Juanito, the international guest interviewed by the Messiah. Well, get on to the Messiah, because the Messiah has actually got contact with Juanito, but he never lets us. He never lets us actually try call the bloke. Right? We've asked him.
Extra large deodorant stink.
Well, I think it might be an idea. I might start a like a little fragrance section. You know, come over and
saucy smells.
Yes, spin the wheel. You know, spin the wheel for your fragrance.
Or double coverage deodorant.
Well, we've got double coverage dingers, so we can expand to deodorant.
Yeah. Yeah, that's funny. We've lost the plot.
Glow in the dark. They glow in the dark pink, that bright pink that's in our logo.
Yeah, that's a CT scan for us. It's awesome. Another massive show. So we're gonna have this in partnership, hopefully not in partnership, but alongside the Oz National later in the year as well. So we've got some big shows coming up, bro. I just hope that people do the same as they did Oz National and they fly from interstate.
Well, yeah, look, it's interesting, right? I think, you know, what the Oz National, I think I'm not sure exactly that we're going to lock in a date. When I spoke to the lads at the Hobby Hangout from Boot Collectibles, they said they were locking in a date soon, and they're going to try and let people know as much in advance as possible. Obviously, give people a large amount of time to get themselves organized. Much similar to what obviously they've done here with the Hobby Hangout. You know, giving people a solid 6 months notice, letting you know this is the Hobby Hangout XL. It's, you know, bigger. What the venue's probably how much bigger would you say it's than the Melbourne Pavilion? Would you say it's 5 times the size of the Melbourne Pavilion, the venue? That we're used to holding the events in.
Yeah, probably about 5 times.
Yeah, so you know, I think we, you know, when we've talked to people in the past, we've screened for a bigger venue. They're going with the Hobby Hangout XL. It'll be interesting to see where they go when they go into state. You know, and what that looks like. But we're happy that they're doing the first one in Melbourne, aren't we, Domas? Because we'll be there.
Good example of how, like, the thing that was there that I went to was the design market. It was like a big market, and it's like they sell all types of things, sauces and food and this and that. And there's 250 stall holders there in the venue, as well as the food like outlets were in there on top of that.
Okay.
There's no food trucks outside because, you know, it pissed down on Saturday. It was just bucketing rain. Lucky there was no one outside, but they did all the coffees were inside, and like cannolis and panini and Portuguese tarts. All those things were being done on the inside. So that just shows you, and there was nothing upstairs. So they fit all that downstairs. That's how big the place is. So
I'm just reading the comments, Dom. They're hilarious.
Yeah, I know.
Vinny, yeah, Romy sauce with live lemons and live spraying stinky CUNTs. Yes.
Kurt's card care is.
We're going to carry. That's what I'm telling you, Dom. We should just carry around a box of lemons and say, "You're a lemon," and give him a lemon and just say, "Thank you."
We probably should. If Jess Wilson's there, we'll get a freaking dump truck to back it in and drop it at the front of the show. Anyway, there you go. Nice. There you go. Adam said they have a hot rod show at the exhibition buildings. They get plenty of cars up there. Yeah. There you go. Very nice. Next one. Share this tab. Not that one. Not that one. Oh, no, this one's all right. Yeah, this one here. The great man. Our good mate. Tyson.
Another release. Yeah, I've seen this. Hall of Fame release. Got the jewels.
Go.
Few jewel
Jewels.
autos.
So you got Bernard King, Walt Frazier, Alonzo Mourning, Dennis Rodman. Then there's some just single cards, autos, Rodman, Gary Payton, Dominic Wilkins. Yeah, there's some more there.
When does this release, Doma, for the people listening? Should scroll down. It should say a little bit further down.
For Australian, Saturday, December 7th. So this Saturday at 10 a.m.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And for people in America, that's 6 p.m. on December the 6th.
Eastern time.
Eastern time, yes. So, yeah, Tyson always banging out ripper releases. And, you know, if you caught our live that we did with him at the Hobby Hangout, if you haven't watched that video, he did speak about, you know, that what he future plans. Like, you know, he's come up with an idea for a bunch of sets. So when he goes to get this player to sign, he has the idea, he's forward thinking to get him to sign this dual auto and this, so then he can have more releases of these players, not just have what he's done in the past was a bit of like a one and done if you got. So now he's thinking forward planning. We've seen how well he's done it with like some of the Curry stuff when he was the first guy to hit the market with a, record breaking 3-point card. And, he was ahead of Tops and ahead of anyone else releasing a card like that. So he's always on the ball and he's always releasing good quality product. And obviously I'll be trying to get a Dennis Rodman or a Gary Payton, or let me tell you that Alonzo Mourning Rodman Jewel, I like the look of that. So I'm going to try get one this Saturday. Most definitely. I'll be trying my luck.
I like it, Sauce. He's always doing a great job. I'm going to throw it to you now for the last story of the show because...
Right. So, Doma, as you can see, and if you can read the title, Kurt's card key is perfectly fine for your cards or for cards. We've told you all along, there's nothing wrong with it because PSA can't detect it. So, go ham, right? Throw it on there. But anyway, a bit of sarcasm. If you haven't caught it, for so long we've been asking, what is in Kurt's card care? What is in it? What is actually in the spray? That magically cleans your cards and brings them back to PSA 10 level, right? Well, funny enough, Dom, because it's being sold on Amazon and it being a part of the agreement with Amazon when you're selling some sort of liquid or spray, you got to disclose the ingredients or else you can't sell the product on Amazon. So he's had to disclose what is in the spray, right? So our good friend, as we know, Dan the card man, right? The man that breaks all the biggest and baddest.
He's the card man now.
He is the card man, right? Has put a video, and in that video, he's got there's like a 9-page document that if you buy the product, you can download this PDF 9-page document. Starts off with like, don't get this in your eyes, can cause irritation and rashes and all this. If that happens, contact a doctor. There's all these, jargon in there to obviously wipe the hands of liability from old mate Kurt, just in case if you're to accidentally, get some on your skin or whatever it is, right? They're first and foremost. And then in section 3, the composition information on ingredients. So I'll just bring it up, ladies and gentlemen, because there's no point even.
You have to start wearing hazmat suits when you clean
right.
cards.
So I'll bring it up. There it is there, right? So it's got isopropanol. Hang on. Yeah, I can zoom in.
Bob Boozle said, I figured it out. The cards don't look better. The alcohol makes you think they look better.
I'm trying to zoom in, but it's just not working.
Yeah, that's good. That's all right. Composition. Right. Here we go.
Hang on, maybe if I put that full screen. There we go. Bang. Right. So there you go. You got isopropanol, which is a flammable liquid too. It causes eye irritation, as you see there. So, you know, Doma, you've got a piece of cardboard. It's already flammable because it's cardboard and it's paper. Let's just add a more flammable liquid on that. So when it does get near a flame, it just lights up in 2 seconds. That's smart. And then it's got ethanol denatured, which is also a flammable liquid. You pretty much might as well just go to the fuel pump, mobile petrol station, or Ampol, or whichever one. Just fill up your jerry can, get a bit of petrol, and just get that and wipe your cards down with some petrol. Because that's what you're doing. You're literally wiping your cards with petrol.
Have you noticed that the percentage is a trade secret? That's my favorite part. And then
Vinny, maybe PSA sniffed the cards before grading, which makes them delusional and you give it 10. They get high off the fumes.
This product is a mixture meeting the criteria for classification in accordance with the OSHA Hazardous Communication Standard 29. The specific chemical. Can you go? Does Dan go down further? First aid.
He doesn't go down further, but you can get this document, I believe, from Amazon or some way or another. So that's just what he showed. But when you think about it, it's got ethanol, it's got isopropanol, right? What I don't know what the hell that is. I'm going to type it in.
I'll do it.
Type it in, Doma. Isopropanol, ISOPROPANOL.
Isopropanol, alcohol.
What does it say?
Is a colorless, flammable organic compound with a pungent alcoholic odor.
So a bit of Grey Goose vodka will do the same trick, right?
Uses. Isopropanol is used in many products, including rubbing alcohol, skin lotion, hair tonics, aftershave lotions, denatured alcohol, solvents, cements, and de-ices. It can also be used for gardening tasks such as killing bugs, removing ticks from dogs, and deterring fruit flies. Isopropanol is more potent than ethanol and can cause CNS depression, GI irritation, and cardiovascular depressant effects in large doses. It can be absorbed rapidly through the skin, inhalation, or ingestion. The least lethal dose ranges from 150 to 240 mils, but patients may become symptomatic with doses as low as 20 mils. Jesus.
Vinny's got some relevant comments there about it being in brake cleaner and used in ingredients in the car industry. Funny you say that, Vinny, because I'm talking way back. I'm talking, this is when this is probably 2019, right? I seen a guy like cleaning his card with like some material that you get from, that you literally get from like Super Cheap Auto, and it was like something wax cleaner or something like that. So people have been doing this sort of stuff before Kurt's Card Care came about. They're using, products from, from a car store and stuff that, is meant to buffer out. You put it on your car and then use a buffer to buffer out the scratch on your car and stuff like that. So people have been doing this before Kurt even decided to create. That's probably where he got the basis of his ingredients.
This is the best source. I just typed in
for his solution.
Ethanol denatured. Denatured ethanol is ethanol that has been mixed with a denaturant to make it undrinkable. The denaturant can make the ethanol taste bad, smell foul, or make it nauseating. Denatured ethanol is also known as methylated spirits or metho. There we go. He goes, what it is: ethanol with additives to make it undrinkable. Uses: solvent or fuel. Safety: highly flammable, but considered safer than methylated spirits. Oh, okay, that's good.
So, look, just hearing that information,
Toxicity: poison,
do we
schedule
think
5,
this is
dangerous
safe
good.
for the longevity of your cards? Like, do you think if you put that on the card today and then you went back to your card in 5 years and encased it in a PSA slab and whatever, and 5-10 years on, what's that actually doing to your card? You know, and don't forget, there's Muppets out there, especially with like vintage cards that are, you know, crinkled in that. They're soaking their cards in this shit, right? And then as an unexpected buyer, you might pay for this vintage baseball card or vintage NFL card. You know, you might want a Joe Montana rookie, which aren't cheap, or a Jerry Rice rookie, which aren't cheap in a good grade, and it's been soaked in Kurt's cum care, right?
Well, now that we know long-term
It's been soaked in petrol.
effects of denatured ethanol on cardboard. Here we go. Now that we know that's in there.
Let's see.
What does... No, this is probably stupid. What does denatured ethanol do to cardboard? What are the risks?
How did Kurt's neck become so long? Vinny, I bought a graded card from a guy. It was scratched up hard. He suggested me to get some car products to take to car shop and get them to polish it out. It must have been pseudo name of Kurt. Yeah, look, you look at it like that, and you look at the facts, and we read out what this is, and logic just tells you this will not be good for cards. The longevity of your card, and you as a buyer, if you're buying it unexpectedly buying a card from someone that they've done this to the card, how are you going to feel? And then you've got other Muppets that are like we brought up on the show the other week. That's actually not only are they using it on the card, but they're using it and then wiping over the auto, so then defacing the auto as well, just to get a better grade to then flog it off to someone. Just the complete, wrongdoing that these people are doing to, others and other collectors. It's just wrong, mate. It's just wrong. And this is why I say the whole grading fiasco is a complete scam. Like, it's such a scam, ladies and gentlemen. Like, the quicker you realize that grading your cards is a fucking scam, the better you'll be in this hobby. Because you won't overpay for cards.
You save a lot of money.
Save a lot of money.
Actually, just go buy shit you actually want.
Yeah, like, you never know now. You can never be confident in buying a graded card, not know whether it's been shined over with some sort of solution.
But the problem is, like we said, it's not the case study is what happens in 5 years' time to all these cards while they're in a slab after they've been soaked, where they deteriorate over time, and then they're stuck in there.
Well, mate, if they can come up with a vaccine for in the space of 12 months and say that's all right, then of course Kurt's cum care, they can just they can forward test that. They can fly into the future and see, oh yeah, it doesn't do nothing in 10 years and come back, right? They got Marty McFly and Doc. They got them and forward tested it. Went into the future.
Vinny, good news. It does nothing to Coles and Woolies cards in case. Yeah, but they instead of putting it on that, they put it in their meat. That's what they use that shit for.
Oh man,
don't get us started on that.
I've seen that today, Dom. I need to do some research on that, because if that's actually true, that's what they're doing to the meat here in the supermarkets. That's for another day. This is why we need to be on Rumble, because this is the sort of shit we talk on there.
Talk about your boys' retirement fund cards, Doma, are safe. Yes, they are. PSA to ban cards that were obtained through time travel. Anyway, we're done and dusted. Just for Vinny, because I was going to play it anyway. The moment Source put him on the agenda to be spoken about, like, we have to get copyright infringements. It's like,
May as well. It's care. It's safe for your cards all day and night. Here's your PSA 10s. You sell it to some sucker, and he buys it, and you make a moolah. But you're a legend. You have the safest solution. Yes, but you are a legend.
keep living, loving, breathing in all sports and double coverage. And peace.
Peace out, ladies and gents. Don't use good pump care because they're gonna fuck your car.
Thank you for tuning in. Please don't forget to leave a review on Apple Podcasts and that. Also, follow us on socials, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and TikTok. Top of those spots,